happy holidays, everybody. What's going on?
Happy holidays.
Hi.
Hanging out by the tree.
All have our trees in our background, so obviously we're super in the holiday spirit, right?
Yep.
Remember that thing called COVID? That thing called COVID just went over my shoulder, so hopefully we'll be fully recovered by the time we get back to classes. And we finished our production of the Nutcracker and our production of the Woman of the Year and our bloopers, our special bloopers segment, which is up. Man, so we started the process of thinking about how we would do our first virtual made-for-television Nutcracker way back in like May, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Christina, when I first told you we were going to do it in May?
Yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know how this is going to be done, but I guess we're doing it. Let's do it.
What was your reaction, Pina?
Yeah, definitely the same as Christina's.
What, like crazy?
I thought it was crazy, but I also thought it was awesome, and I believed it was possible, and we did it.
All right. Please, what was your initial reaction when I said in May that we're going to just like figure out a way to turn our studios into a soundstage and produce a made-for-television Nutcracker? What did you think?
I thought it was awesome, and I was very excited about it. And I knew that you and Christina and Pina could pull it off because you all are the video people. You are the social media, make videos, create videos, edit videos people. So I thought if anybody could do it, you could do it. And I was actually kind of excited to watch it because I thought this would just be a really kind of nice reset. You know, every year we do the Nutcracker at TCNJ, and it's a fabulous event and it's amazing, but it's pretty much the same production every year, you know, and I thought this is really cool because it gives us kind of a little reset button and a little kind of like push to go, well, we'll do the same production, but not really. And because it was going to be filmed via TV, I thought this is, I don't know, I just thought it'd be a nice sort of shot in the arm to like give us possibilities for the future and how maybe in the future we could do both.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Back in January, I started having conversations with TCNJ, you know, and about the coming year, as we do always, but it wasn't really until June that I got word that TCNJ was just going to shut down, basically completely shut down, and that there would be no opportunity to present a production that we presented for 20 some odd years there. And so obviously I was really taken back by that, but understood the severity of COVID and the fact that we weren't really going to be able to have an audience, and that if we could come up with a model where there would be some audience, that it would be, you know, like 20 people or something, and it wasn't going to be possible. That it wasn't going to be possible physically to do it, but also logistically it just wasn't going to work out, you know? And so I think that's really when I began going forward with wanting to like, okay, this is what we are going to do versus I think we're going to do, right? And then you guys were just so incredible because everything that I asked you to do and everything that we, you know, like I was coming up with all kinds of crazy cockamamie ideas of things we would do. And some guys were like, okay, all right, let's do it, you know? And it's been really incredible to watch, you know, Mrs. Roxey, you know, Melissa and, the staff, the volunteers, just a real big shout out to all of our volunteers. Jeannie Joe, the load-in crew, the load-out crew, the guys who just, I mean, these guys, anything we asked them to do, they were able to do, and they were able to do it in the time frame that we had for it to be done. And it was really like incredible. And Pina, why don't you talk a little bit about your newfound profession of video editing and design and really delivering, like, you know, on a very, very high level, something that, you know, in the past you hadn't really thought too much about. Tell me about how that was for you.
Yeah, so I had really no previous experience in editing. A little bit, yes, I had edited a couple like trailers for our company the past season. But this was the first like a production that I edited, and it was challenging, yes, but I have to say that because we used Switcher Studio, it made it a little bit easier because it was like half edited already, but I did add some clips from other camera angles if I had to, and added a couple special effects, like in the battle scene you could see the little sparkles and the smoke, which gave it the final touch, and I enjoyed it. Like, it was a lot. It's basically a 2-hour production, so it's like editing a movie. But it was something that, you know, I will remember forever, definitely, and I learned so much new about it. And also, I was thinking for my future, like 10 years from now or 15 years from now, if I want to have my own company or something, I can use that skill, because I think video editing and dancing on film is the future. Even though we can still perform in a live theater, but dance on film is a big thing in the future.
Yeah, and it's just part of, I think what we all learned, I mean, you guys can speak to this better, but I think what we all learned was that it really is and should have been for the longest time just a natural part of what we do. And we just have been so busy in creating work and really getting it to the stage that we've never really stopped to think about what would be possible. And we needed, you know, unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, but it was like, I mean, you could always look at all the bad from COVID-19, right? But we as a team, and Mrs. Roxey, who's not here right now, but we as a team, all of us and the board and everyone has really looked at this project of how do we survive? How do we survive? I mean, we weren't doing well before COVID-19.
Exactly.
Arts were suffering before COVID-19, but during COVID-19, it was almost like the last stand at the Alamo. Like, what is it that we are gonna do to make this company like survive COVID-19? We have to do it, right? And we did that. And, you know, from, you know, all of the video editing, Christina, that you did, and really like your, I would say, supervising skills and logistical coordination skills of everything from preparing schedules to, you know, just really being understanding like how the different angles and how things had to be shot, and, you know, what needed to go into that. And then just at times like reviving our feeds. You know, we had feeds for some of our excuse me, our live broadcasts, where we were like, okay, in 3, 2, 1, we're going live. Here we go, boom. And then the feed would drop, and we would have to, and you were monitoring all that. I mean, it was hilarious. I mean, really, for me, I didn't show that. I wasn't really expressing that to you guys, but I was laughing hysterically, like, oh my God, like, is this really happening? We have to produce an entire rehearsal like in real time, but then also we have to deliver the content out into the world. And I mean, there were times we had like 25,000 people. I think that was probably one of the largest numbers, but I remember 17,000 people were watching or watched a broadcast. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is like we're really doing this. And every day, just like our natural inclinations as dancers and as, teachers and as, what we do as a team is like, do, refine, do, refine, do, refine. And what I mean by do, refine is like we do something and then we refine it and we do it better. And we were doing that, like I was watching you do that, all of you do that from like day one all the way through. And it's just really incredible to watch. And Lees, I mean, what do you remember? Could you connect to that, what I just said?
Oh yeah. And it was amazing the few times that I was actually down at the studio when you guys were filming live. And one time I remember walking by the studio and I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that because I was in the camera. But I mean, it was like it was like everything was just happening, and it was like you were recording in Studio B, but there was rehearsal in Studio A, and there was costumes in Studio C, and and I was trying to get stuff, for people that bought, items, and it was like everything just happened all at once, and everybody just kept going. It was just like the machine kept rolling.
And Christina, like the community, think about, let's just chat a little bit about how the community rallied around us. I mean, to be honest, really honest and transparent with the people who are going to be watching this stream here, there were a lot of people that were kind of pissed off that we were going to do it anyway. Beside COVID-19, there were a lot of people that were like, you guys are crazy. This isn't going to work. You're not really thinking clearly, which was probably true. Probably, because I don't ever think clearly. I think beyond what is possible, which to normal people is not clear. It's not, how could it be clear, right? That's the point of what we do as a team, is we don't think about what we're doing right now. We think about what's possible, and then we create that. So I'm like there were people in the beginning that were really not happy with what we were doing, right, Christina? And then we could watch. I mean, I watched as the days went on how people transformed, how people were like, oh my God, they're really doing this. They're really making this happen. I mean, would you agree with that? Anybody?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think at first, when we made the announcement, everybody was kind of like, well, how's that gonna happen? And all the logistics. And so us, we wanted to make sure that we had everything planned out. So we had meetings of what we're gonna say and everything, and how things are gonna work and how rehearsals will be spaced out and everything like that. And so once people received the information of how everything was gonna work, that definitely settled some nerves. And then as the weekends went on and we were rehearsing, and it was it was the same production we all know and love, and so everybody was starting to feel a lot better about it, and it worked out great.
How about all the COVID-19 protocol? How about all of the things that we did like multiple times in a day, from the temperature checking, which is pretty normal, and then the hand washing, and the making sure everybody who came through the doors had their hands, they had no fever, all of that stuff. And then on top of it, having all of the studio having to be disinfected multiple times, wiped down, all of that work, which is not, it's not work our team normally does on a regular basis, and yet we had a whole other job. And then we had to go into classes both on Zoom and in person. And so we were teaching initially on Zoom, keeping the lifeblood, keeping the kids happy, making sure mentally they were right, making sure they were a part of, the dance community, and really just being mostly concerned about their mental and physical health and keeping them in shape and keeping them they love. And then when we got to June, or at the end of June, we were able to have summer dance programs, our summer dance at the Mill, with limited amounts of people in the space, and then the remainder of the people having to do it online through Zoom. Then we moved to the fall with classes resuming and having a limited cap of 25% of population available to come into the studio, and the rest having to do it via Zoom. And then we would go into rehearsals, and then we would go into production planning to make, the actual recording. And Pina, when did we start the first recordings? When was the first recordings? Do you remember? Anybody remember?
The first weekend of November.
Yeah, so we started the first recordings in the first week of November, and we started shooting the production with the in the order of the production, really, right? I believe so, for the most part. We started with Act 1, and we started filming. And I remember in the beginning of the filming, remember when because of our feed, we started glitching, like the multi-cameras started glitching and dropping out in the middle of the recording. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
So what was your memory of that? I want you to just take us through what was it like for that to happen, and what were you experiencing?
Well, to me, in the after editing, I experienced it because every part that was glitching, I had to replace the clip with another clip. And I remember we figuring out that when we recorded Party Scene twice and the glitching happened on the exact same spot on both recordings, and we were figuring out, do we have to change the choreography? Do you remember that? We were thinking to replace the choreography with another clip because it was glitching in both recordings. But then David, who was recording the whole thing with his own camera, it was not connected with Switcher. Yeah. Thank God he had a nice shot from that spot, so I just replaced it. But
we were saying
it was a lot. Party Scene was a lot because there was a lot of glitching. But then when we figured out why there was the glitching and you were able to fix it, after that was so much easier. Second act editing was completely different than first act because there was no glitching, at all.
Again, it was all new for us then. It was all new. And what did we end up with? We ended up with an amazing production of the American Holiday Classic Nutcracker, which is available on the channel for everybody to watch. And think of all the grandparents and the cousins and uncles and family members that are not able to see the kids dance, not able to see the Roxey Ballet's production, which they've watched for many, many years, and that they can still get that, and they can still bring it to their home, and if they can't be together for the holidays, they can watch it, from wherever they are, and just really the amount of joy and happiness that production brings to so many families. It's incredible. And the channel is doing really great. And on the channel, we were also able to complete our Woman of the Year project. Christina, talk a little bit about the Woman of the Year project.
It was a show with 5 different pieces choreographed by 5 different female choreographers. I was one of the choreographers, Pina was, and we had Kristen Smith, Naini Chen, and Lynn Needle also create works. And it was just, each piece was about a different kind of social issue women face. And I think it was really great for the trainees of the school to have this opportunity. And I think it made them really think about these issues. And it was also something very different than what they're used to doing. So I think it was a great opportunity for them to meet new choreographers and be able to work with them on issues that they can really relate to.
Yeah, and on an equity and inclusion component, I mean, just how powerful is it for 5 female, there aren't that many opportunities for choreographers in general, and let alone female choreographers. It's even harder to find those kinds of opportunities, and we managed to be able to do that and include all these energetic, talented young dancers to be able to work in material and in context that's about, just women's issues, as you say, and to really explore those issues, what that does for them as they go out into the world and as a part of the artistic voice. When you have this gift as an artist and as a dancer, and you get to take that gift into the world and share it with people, as you all do, as we all have. But to be able to watch that generation, the next generation, to really do that, take that out into the world, it is so beautiful, and it's so uplifting as a director, for me to be able to be a part of that and know that that is, as a mission and as something that we are about, to be able to I'm so grateful that we can produce that kind of work and the kind of stuff that we have in the pipeline for the future. The work that we have, that we are aspiring to do, is so incredible. Once this COVID thing is behind us, and Lees, why don't you talk a little bit about some of those things that we're working on? Because I really want them to hear it from you as well, like all the projects you and I are putting together for this dance community.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be working with Christine Smith from Inspire Performing Arts and Cultural Center. She has 2 locations, one in New Brunswick and one in Newark, and we're going to be collaborating with her organization, producing some cultural exchange programs for our trainees and performance opportunities for both of them and for us to collaborate. And we're also working with Autistic Women and Binary Network, where it's women with autism and the LGBT community. Working with them to do some webinars or maybe some dance to learn via Zoom. Just trying to get the word out there how dance can be a form of communication and healing, and can be uplifting for this community of people, and especially women with autism. And we're also working with Karen Hernandez in Trenton, who has a beautiful church down there. And we're going to hopefully do some work maybe with some after-school programs there, as well as maybe our C-word, Stories of Triumph over Breast Cancer. We're hoping to be able to possibly produce that at the institution. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's just incredible, the stuff that we have in the pipeline. You just mentioned Dance to Learn. Christina, talk about that program and how we're going to really bring that in the new year, bring that to people in the new year.
Yeah, so in March, when everything hit with the pandemic, we had to switch all of our Dance to Learns, which is we do creative movement at a lot of special education schools. We shifted all over Zoom, and then we were able to get a couple new programs virtually. So I did 2 in the summer, did 1 in the fall, and we're continuing 2 more starting in January. So even though we can't be in person with the students, it's been working out great, and they're still, having a great time.
Wow. Yeah, man, it's really, really fantastic. And what about Pina? What about the stuff that we're doing with our newfound Soundstage, and what opportunities are we offering to other dance companies?
Well, yeah, we were planning to offer for other companies to use our amazing Soundstage, or the black box theater that we have. Since we have all this new technology, we have Suture Studio, we have an amazing sound system as well. So maybe not all companies have the access for this technology. So we wanted to share what we have. So we want to give them the opportunity to rent our space, and we will help them to produce whatever show they want to produce. Because we're all in this together, and we all want to support each other. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity that we can provide after New Year's for other companies as well.
Yeah, and just to dovetail on the end of that is, what we're talking about is we have a 1,500 square foot soundstage, as large as most dance stages, fully outfitted with cyclorama and all the lighting that you could imagine and more. Marley floor, wonderful, wonderful soundstage, sound equipment. We have risers, so when live performing comes back, we're able to include live patrons to watch your show. We also have multiple up to 10 different camera angle views. And we really can produce almost any quality performance, that be it musical theater, dance, music, whatever, PowerPoint presentations. We have projectors, and we have full screen pull downs, and we pretty much have everything in that space. Other rehearsal spaces as well, dressing areas, etc. So yeah, if you're interested, if anybody out there is interested, be it a musical group or whatever, we created this space. We want to share it, and we want to rent it out. So if you're interested in being a part of it, let us know. And I think you can get a hold of us if you just email us at info@roxeyballet.org, or something like that. You can find us there, So I just want to thank you guys for, just being in action. And we have a very, very, very busy winter, spring coming up with all that's going on. And anybody want to chat about that?
Well, we're gonna basically produce Pied Piper performance that we couldn't produce last spring because COVID and quarantine, but we're gonna produce it now again during spring, and also Carnival of the Animals, and we are planning some exciting little changes. We hope to record part of it outside in nature, so that will be very exciting. And the audition is in January actually, so if you're interested in auditioning for the production, you can sign up on our website for that.
Yes, and also we're producing another repertory concert in the spring as well. We've been invited to perform at 2 different performance venues in New York for the Woman of the Year, and also there's a potential performance in Atlanta, Georgia that may come to fruition. So we're excited about that possible opportunity. And there's just a lot going on in the spring, and we just are excited that this COVID thing is gonna, we're just praying that this thing gets behind us. And for all of our supporters and funders, I'm just gonna shout them out if that's okay. I just wanted to shout out like the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation for just being in action and supportive of my work and the work of Roxey Ballet, the great work that we do. The New Jersey State Arts Council for really just, being there and not only supporting Roxey Ballet, but making sure the dance community can come back on some level to doing what we do, which is really just celebrate life in New Jersey and bring live dance performances to the people of New Jersey. The Princeton Area Community Foundation for their support, the Hunterdon County Cultural and Heritage Commission, the Kennedy Center, the VSA, Very Special Arts, for believing in education programs, our programs that we serve, people with disabilities, and just really all the individuals that donate their by making a donation, we know that that's a signal that you really believe in us, and we hope that more individuals will find it in their hearts to support the Roxey Ballet's mission and the great work that we're doing. And please, if you're interested in making a contribution to support this amazing, you can do that by going to www.roxeyballet.org/donate, or you can just give us a contact. You can call us or email us. Our number is 609-397-7616, and certainly you can email us at info@roxeyballet.org. I think I did. How was that for a shout out, guys?
That was great.
Did I anybody out?
This church in Dwight and young audiences in Dance, New Jersey.
Well, you are definitely my backup. Thank you so much. You are absolutely right. It's a long list, and everybody needs to be acknowledged. So yes, absolutely. The Dance to Learn, young audiences, the partnership there, the support, the young audiences, and most importantly, Dance New Jersey is responsible for this amazing program where we bring dance to school-age children around the state. And they are working so hard making sure that there's funding and support for our company to get out there and do the work. So special thanks to both young audiences and Dance New Jersey for our Dance to Learn program. And Church in Dwight for always, they have a wonderful Good Neighbor program. We have several board members that work for different foundations and different corporations that are really instrumental in bringing that kind of funding to the Roxey Ballet. So thank you to our amazing board for all the hard work and belief in the vision that Melissa and I set out for the company, and just supporting these beautiful artists. Soon enough, all of our artists will get back. It's just going to take a little time. I know everybody, you're going to have to exercise a little patience, and we are going to stay in action and bring to you everything that we can. Right, Lees?
Absolutely.
And I just, well, thank you guys. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Everything, and whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, I hope you have a beautiful holiday season, and we will see you guys in the new year, right?
Yes.
Happy holidays.
Happy holiday.
Love you, Christina. I love you. Lees, I love you. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Okay. Mwah.
Okay.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Okay, bye.